Vishaka, are you asking me can you append, or you are telling me what are you doing for this? Have you tried this one? Okay, yeah. So you have added the column 7 over here, but you have to suppose to add the row. Yeah, column 7 you can add with the append also, but how you can append the row? Have you tried appending the row as well or not? Does it give error or not? Because the question is, because we already done the adding the new column but not row. Because for adding the new column, we also having a function. We have already done how we can add the new column, but we haven't done how we can add the new row. Yes, it's a ignore index is necessary. Yes, I'll explain what is ignore index also, and if you don't want to use ignore index, and then what's the other method if you want to keep the same index as the previous one. I'll explain that also. Okay, let's come to my screen now. I'll explain this one also. So there are different ways how you can add the rows. So first of all, I am creating a new data frame with the name df2 over here, and I'm appending data frame 1. So I am taking all the values of data frame 1 and using the append function. As you can see over in my screen, append we are using. And for that, I am also providing the value that we are using, because I have to give the full row value. I am specifying the key and the value. So I am using dictionary here. So the first way you can use dictionary, and the second way you can use sequence also to append the row in your data frame. So first way I am using dictionary over here. As you can see, column 1 key and 25 is my value. Column 2 is again key, 26 is again my value, and so on. One parameter I have to pass along with that is ignore underscore index, and its value should be true. Why is that ignore index value should be true? Because when you are appending the data, what happened at that time, the index value for the row, because by default row has the index value 0 1 2 3 4 5, and you have given the labels now. Okay, but before labels, and every time the row value has the index 0 1 2 3, so that's why it gets confused between 0 1 2 3 and the labels. So that's why they give error if you don't use ignore index. So what you have to do, you have to write this parameter ignore index equal to true. And when you run this command, your new now I have created one new data frame with the df2, and I have append data frame 1 as well as the another row. Now you can see in the output we have another row over here with the 5 index value, because index value is automatically generated via Python. So 5 index value is generated, and the values for this row I have given, column 1 I have given 25, column 2 is 26, 327, and so on. So one way we can add the row this way using dictionary, and if you want to add multiple rows also, you can use series for them. And even if one row also, you can use series. And if you have multiple rows you want to add, you can also use a list of series for that. So how can you use that? See over here in screen, we have taken one variable list of series, and I'm passing PD, this function over here series, which we have already discussed in earlier session, and I am just passing the values 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. I'm just passing the value in this row. First I want to pass this value, and after that I want to pass this value, after that I want to pass this value. So there are 3 rows which I'm adding to my data frame. Okay, so here also you have to define index. Here when I am creating series, when I am creating a list of series, you have to define index, because you have index for the column. So here I am defining is you have to take automatically, that is column 1, column 2, column 3. You have to take index. So that's why I am specifying over here index equal to data frame 1 dot column. So it will automatically take it will automatically take index value, that is the label value which we have given to our column in data frame 1. So this I have used for adding for multiple rows. And again, I have taken another data frame and I'm using append command for adding multiple rows. So same data frame 1, I'm using append command and I'm just passing the series over here. So it will, what it will do first, it will give your data frame 1, and after that data frame 1 value, it will append my series, that is my multiple rows. And here also you have to provide ignore index. Now why again you have to provide ignore index? Because again you have labeled your rows A, B, C, D like. So it gets again confused that what I'll do. So that's why you have to type ignore index. Always you have to type ignore index for that. So I have run this data frame also. Now you can see it will show in your screen also. It's just having a delay. And we have add 3 rows over here, 5, 6, and 7, having the values which I have given to them. Can you see them? So how we can add with the help of dictionary also, and how we can help with the help of series also. But I don't want to use that ignore index, or if I want my value, if I want to give my output, my data frame, it should be like labeled as new row with the new alphabet. For example, earlier we have till E, we have labeled A, B, C, D, E, but now I want to add a new row with the label F. So for that, we have to use LOC function over here. Now just see how LOC function here works, because I will explain in detail what are LOC. LOC means location. LOC and ILOC. There are two functions we have in pandas. So what they do and why we are using, and they are very popular methods when we have a slice series or data frame. So just say here, see this one, we have how we can add this data frame 1. In data frame 1, I want to add the location. So I have given the location with the help of LOC function. And because I want to add new row, so I want to give the also label. So I have given new label F over here, and equal to I have given the value. Now you can see in data frame 1, I have in the output, I have the new row over here, the labeled F, and I have the value of that row is 25, 26, 27, and 29. So these are the 3 ways in which you can add the row, and the last one is very easy. Yes, with the help of location, it is very easy. Yes or no? Now did you understand how we can add the rows? Say yes or no in chat box. Okay, good, Vishakha. Yes, everyone should reply. Okay, that's good. Have you done this by yourself or not? I have given 2 tasks to you. Have you done it? How have you done it? Have you used this method or not? Which method do you use? Okay. Okay, I gave you, yes, append method, Shivam. This way, same. Okay. So location method is new to you then. If you used a append method, right? Okay, great. Everyone has used append method. I have given you another task also, that you have to create a dictionary, and you have to create a data frame from that dictionary. Have you done that? Yes, have you done that? Okay. How have you done that? It was easy. It was very easy, right? There was no problem in that. Okay, great. Everyone done that? Whoever has not done that, then I'll explain it to you. If anyone is having doubt, type you are having doubt, so that I can explain the second assignment, second task which I have given to you. Okay, so no one is typing any doubt. So that I got that you already done that. So we should move further again then. Yeah, we have covered till here. Now I'll explain what is ILOC and the LOC methods. So see, we have two methods which are very popular methods and we use for slicing series and the data frame. First is the ILOC method and the second one is the LOC. So this is location method. What's the difference between them? It's just like if you are given the ILOC, then you must need to provide the index value. In ILOC, I means index value, that you have to specify index value for that. And in LOC, you can provide the string also, that is the row label. You can only use the row label in your LOC. So that's why we have used LOC over there, not ILOC. So let's just use that. I'm giving you one example for that of both. Yeah. Now you can see I have just typed that in data frame 1, I want location this. So B location, it gives the value that at location B, we have at that is index B, we have the value 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I want the same value, but I want to use another function that is ILOC, how I can do that? So just use ILOC. Yeah. So just pass the index value instead of the label. That's the only difference between them. Now can you see the output is same, but passing the parameter, the value which we are passing as an object in LOC, we can only pass the label, and in ILOC, we can only pass the index value, index number which you have. So, okay, let's do one more example. You have to tell me what's the output of this. Okay, I'm using LOC function over here. And now I'm choosing this. Okay. So tell me what's the output of this? Yes, participants, tell me the output of this. Yes, 7. Good. Now why it is 7? Let's execute it first. Yeah, you are getting the output 7. Very good, everyone. So everyone is listening and are interested in this session. That's very good. So in this, you can see what we are doing. We are finding that particular element. So we are just selecting that particular element. So we are doing selecting and slicing. So here what we are doing, we have given the element B, that is the in row B, you have to go and you have to choose the element from the column 3. So when you see your data frame, then you will find the element 7 over there at this position, because we have provided the row and the column position for that. Okay, so if I want to select multiple values, for example, if I want let's say, okay, I want this row also, and let's take one more row. Okay, let's take E row. Yeah, over here. Then let's take another columns also. Carefully see the syntax, because if you perform the syntax wrong, you will get the error. Let's take one more column, column 3. Okay. So now tell me what's the output for this. Now we are selecting multiple values for this. Yes, tell me the output. Yes, participants. Error? Why error, Shyam? Error, Shyam? Okay, then let me first execute if you are having the error. I'm not getting any error, but you can see my output over here. Okay, I have to give column 1. I didn't give column 1 over here. Now let's run it. Yeah, now you can see. Why everyone is getting error? Yeah, I have written call. I didn't call 1. That's why. So you should rotate call 1. Now it's not error. Now what's the value? I'm getting the values from the fifth, that is the B row, and having the value from column 1 and the column 3, and from E row I'm having the value from column 1 and column 3. So this would be our output. Okay, let's try some condition because we are using selection and the that statement. So let's give some condition over here. We have the data frame. We are applying condition over there. I want all the values over here should be greater than 15. So this is your relational operator that is greater than 15, greater we are applying. So it will give Boolean values. Either it is in true or in false. Okay, let's execute this. Can you, okay, it will come to your screen now. Can you see the output over here? Okay, now did you understand why the output is that? Because in column 1 we are started with the value 0, 1, 2, 3, and the values which are less than 15, they have given Boolean variable that is false, and which is greater than 15 have given the values true. So that's why you can also use condition selection over here. Okay, now let's move to real data set because we have done very pretty much. We have understood this one. Now I want to implement to CSV file for that. Okay, I'll show you one link for that from which you can download CSV files to which we perform data sets. This is the link. Wait, you will see in your screen just a bit. Yeah, can you see? Now I'll copy this link in chat box for you so that you can download the dataset also. Yeah, I have sent you the link in the chat box. You can just redirect to that page. You can just click on that. Okay, what you have to do, you have to just click on this. Okay, and every data set which you want, you just click on machine learning database. You will get every other data set also. So there are many data sets on which you can perform data analysis, even machine learning algorithms also. So I have already downloaded this data set and I have uploaded the data set. Okay, it is a CSV file format. When you open this, so what you have to do when you want to upload, you have to upload that data set in the directory in which Jupyter is running. So I'll show you one way how you can do that. Just click on upload. Yes. In here, and the data set which you are having. For example, I am having this absentees at work.csv. I want this file because I have to import this file and have to make data frame. I have to analyze this one also. Okay, now we are taking real data set. So just what you have to do, okay, you will see it now because there is some delay. Yeah. So here we have, you have just select this file, or you have to just click on open. Yeah, I have clicked on open. You will see in your screen. And here you can see the upload button here. Just click on that upload button. Then you can just directly import that data. But I have already uploaded that, so I just cancel that. Okay. But you have to click on upload button. So let's go. Let's see our code now. Yes. First of all, what we have to do, we have to read the CSV file over here. Everyone has done downloading the data. Everyone is done with that part. Okay, that's good. Now data frame 2, I have to create again new data frame because I want to read. So the function for that, if you have a CSV file that is already inbuilt database and you want to provide a data frame, you want to build new data frame from that and you want to apply rules over here. So how you can do that? Just write pandas, that is pd dot read, because this is your CSV file, so you have to write CSV. If it is your Excel file, then you have to write Excel. We will see that one also, don't worry. And here you have to provide the file name. So, and please be careful, the name you have for the file, it should be the same. You have to type over here, otherwise it will give you an error. So let's see. Okay, let's just copy and paste that file name also. Yeah. Okay, so I have given the file. I'll explain what is separation over here. But first, just run this command. And if you want to see whether it is, let's verify that whether it is uploaded or not in data frame 2. So just write data frame 2 dot head. Can you see over here? This was the database, and I already told you that by default, if you use your head command, it will show you only the file values. Okay, let's try the tail command also. You will see if we are getting the same output or not, because I told you you have tail command, the last bottom 5 values for that. Okay, and they are having, okay, yeah, just see one more thing. In this, you are having 5 rows, the which we are seeing that from the head, and we are having 21 columns over here. So let's try, first of all, dear tail. We will try tail first. Yeah. Now can you see, this is my last 5 values over here. Now can you understand the difference between the head and the tail? Because earlier we have a short database, that's why you may get confused, but this is our head and tail. The top first 5 values will be shown by the head and the last 5 values will be shown by the tail. Okay, that's good. Everyone got that? Again, we are having. Now, as we can see in my database, I'm having the row 739, right? But here I'm showing the 6th row because we are getting the output of 5 rows at a time only. So what I want to do, उसके लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? We'll check another thing also. How many rows and the columns for that. For that you have the command df2. Now because we have created another data frame, so df2 dot shape command. This is the command which you can use for finding how many total rows and the columns you have. So it is showing 740 rows, 0 to 739. So total is you are having 740 rows and 21 columns. So did you get shape command also? Type yes or no. Is there any doubt till far? Okay, you got it. Okay, great. Yes, everyone type fast. Okay. Okay, great. So what I want then, I want to count what are the data types they are having, because as you can see there are bundle of data and we are having 21 rows. Some are here integer values and some are float values, some are string values. So no, I don't think there is a string. So I want to see what type of value they are having, what data type. So for that command we have is, yes, we have to take first of this, then get, because you want data type, so D type. Now I want to count also, because count of all the data type. Okay, it gives the error. Let's see why it gives the error. Maybe I have written it wrong. Okay, it is saying it does not have the count value. Okay, let me check the syntax first. Okay, yeah, because it doesn't have a count. It has counts. Sorry for that. Yes. Now you can see that there is single less which can do wonders. Okay. Now you can see we have float, one data type, integer we have 20. So overall 21 columns we have, and only one column we are having a float data type, and 20 columns we are having of integer data type. So if you want to data type also, you can also see this. Now there is another, if you want to explore data types, there is a function select underscore data type. So you can explore on your own, and we will use another filter function. Just you have like in your database, if you want to select some specific function or column for that. Let's try that. There is filter, so you have to do filter over here. You have to write. And one more thing, if you want to know more about particular method, just like I have used filter, just press after filter shift and tab. Can you see in the screen? Wait, you will see on the screen in just a bit. Yeah, now you can see over screen what I did. I just press after the method shift tab. Okay. So it shows me everything. If you want additional knowledge for that method, just click on plus. You will see in just a bit. Yeah, now you can see on your screen. Let's see what the parameters they are having. We can pass items, we can pass parameter like regression, access, return, like this. Okay. So these are the information which you can get from that, and how you can use that. All this information is stored in your ANA code. So what you have to do, we'll use two functions over here. First we'll do like function, and the second is the regular expression function for that. So let me just cross that, and we'll write the filter function over here. So I want column which is having social, okay, in their name, in their label. So and I want the values, it should return 25 values for that. So let's just execute this one. Kalpana, you have an error at 61. Okay, df2 underscore, write this command as same, because it will not show the error if you write the same command. Df underscore 2 dot get underscore d type underscore counts, because s aayega. After count you have to put s. Okay, maybe you have written count only. That's why it will show the error. Now see this one. I have used. Okay, sure. You are having the attribute error that data frame object has no attribute. Have you installed that pandas? You have installed the pandas, then it will not show you the error. At first, execute again the pandas and the numpy command. Aman, you have used this command df2.type. Okay, let's just try this command also if you have used. Okay, just wait a bit. Okay, just try this command also, df_2 dot d types dot value underscore count. Just try this command. Wait, you will see in your screen in just a bit. Yeah, now just type this command. Still you are getting an error. Okay, this one is working. Sure, that's good. Okay, okay, then this one is working for you guys. Then we'll move ahead then. So what I have written in above, just see this command also. We are using like filter, and I want that columns in which in their labels they have a social. Okay, so it gives me two columns. One is social drinker and one is social smoker. And I want to see 25 values from that. So that's why I have written head 25. So now from this, I just only want a one that is my only one column, that is a social drinker. So I can also give the value full of this social drinker to that. Just you have to change in this social drinker. Now you'll execute this one. Now you'll only get the value or column of social drinker. It will display in your screen in just a bit. It is just having a delay. Yeah, now you can see that. Now let's use another function for that. Okay, let's use another function. Let's use regular expression for that. Regular expression is again a string. You can also read from the section which I have shown you how you can get the knowledge about a particular function for that. So regular expression I'm finding. So I want that columns in which in their column name they are having string EIG, right? So in column name they are having the string EIG. I just want that. And I want 10 values for this. Okay, let's execute this one. Can you see? Okay, in a bit you will see the output also. You have weight and the height with you. EIG. As you can see, the string, because we have used the string inside that we want the regular expression like this. So we have two columns, that is the weight and the height, which match our conditions over here. Now I want to check, because when you have any database or you have any data CSV files or Excel file, first you have to check for machine learning algorithms or data analysis, it is having a null value or not. So let's try for a database also, that if it is having a null value or not. Is null function is we are using, and I want to count them also. If there is any null function in some particular column, so I want to count how many values in a particular column they have. So let's run this. Now you can see, yeah, it will just in a bit it will show in your screen also. We are having the value 0, 0, 0. These are the column names, and the null values I have asked, it is showing me 0. That is, it doesn't have any null value. So that's a very perfect database, because it doesn't have any null value. Okay. So let's go into deeper part for that. Now I want to see the summary statistics for numerical column, that what is their mean, these types of value I want to see. So for that we have a describe function. So let's do that. And in describe function, I'm giving just one parameter. We'll see the output first. Okay, let me execute it first. Now can you see this? What I have written? Now in describe function, I have passed that you have to include numpy number over here. Okay, so I am giving the parameter numpy numbers. Now if you use describe function over here, what you will get the statistics for this, that is we are having the count. It will count the IDs, it will count the value, and the mean value for each column, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, 25%. So everything it will calculate for each column. Okay, so these are the values that you can get from only the describe function. Now if I want to see, now this is database you are having, it's of a not, it does not occupy your much space. But if you are working in a company or some good machine learning project, then what you have done, you are having a large data set. So I want to decrease the size of my data set also. So how can I decrease that? First I have to find what is the memory usage each data type is using. Okay, so let's first find it out. And the parameter which we are passing is deep equal to 2. Yeah, let's just run this one. This is for finding the memory usage. Now as you can see over here, the memory usage for this is 805920. This is the memory usage they are having. As you can see, another data types are having 5920, and in some columns we don't need that much of that size or the memory they want to store. How they can do that? Because for that we have to convert its integer or 64 the float value we have now, because we have seen earlier also that it is having integer 64 value. Wait, I'll show you also in 64. Yeah, as you can see over here in 63 block, you have integer 64 data type over here. Now for some, because there is a difference between 32-bit and the 64-bit. As you can see, we say na our system is 32-bit or 64-bit. So what's the difference between the 32-bit, 64-bit, 8-bit? Okay, tell me. What's the difference between 32-bit, 64-bit? Yes. Yes, memory size, amount of information they have stored. If you have a large information, you will need more space. If you don't have any large space, for example, some columns I don't need any large space, but for that them also I am using integer 64. So I should be decrease it. Yes, I should be decrease it to some lower data type, that is integer 32 or integer 8, so that my memory can be uh, the value it is getting for my memory, it can be stored save also. So I want to decrease for the lower usage of my memory. So that's why what I want to decrease it. Then how you can decrease it? Just follow me and the command. See over here. Okay, so I want let's take one column for that. Let's take this column reasons for absence. Okay. and we are providing in this data frame. Okay, this is a string, so I have to make it in a quote. Yes. Yeah. Over here, dot. Now I want to change it into, and who will change it? NumPy, integer 8. Okay. Let's execute this command. As I have done this, let's again check whether it has done or not. Again, we'll execute the command of memory usage and execute. Now, can you see reason for absence column? We are having 740 instead of 5920. So that's much we have stored the space in our disk. So I guess this is clear to you. Okay. There is one after that we will do visualization. We will perform histogram. We will visualize the histogram also. And when there is one more graph box plot, we'll do that. So just one will done with the one also one function also, which is having a sorting function. So if you want to sort some values, for example, I'm having a height in my database, and I want the height should be it should be in the increasing order. That the less one should be in upper, and then according to increasing, it should be like that. So okay, how can you change it? Okay. You have to specify the column name. If, or df2, you have to just take df2 and type every column name, because you are converting for every data type there, for a full data frame. So that's how you can convert it. Okay, let's do the sorting function. We have a sort already inbuilt in that. Okay, let's take for height. And I want it should be in ascending order. So let's take ascending equal to true. And I want to see its 10 values. Okay, so let's execute this one. Wait, see it in the height. You can see the value starting from 163, then 165, and so on. So our sorting function is also applied. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to now visualize this. Okay, now I want, there is one more graph that is a box plot, because yesterday I also told you that you have a many graph which you want, but don't go for complex one. But let's create one graph that is a box plot, which we call. Okay, just let me write the command, then it will, then I'll explain to you. We have to build box plot, so just write data frame, then box plot. And for which column I want for that box plot, I want it for specific column. Okay, no. Let's take another column for that. Let me see which column should we take. Okay, again, let's take it for reasons for absence, which we have converted. Yeah, over here. Now let's just execute this. Can you see, wait, you will see in your screen return matplotlib.access. Wait, it will just come in a bit. It is taking time. Now, okay, we haven't included matplotlib library over here. And yesterday I told you that there are two libraries, that is the matplotlib and the seaborn. Then today you will say that how I'm saying ki, you will draw the diagrams or you will draw visualization with the help of your pandas, because panda is built again on the matplotlib. Okay, so it is inbuilt, it is having a matplotlib. As you can see over here, it is having a line matplotlib.access. So it is taking the help of the matplotlib. So same diagram, same visualization you can done with the help of the matplotlib also, seaborn also, or pandas also. Okay, because matplotlib is stored is in the on the top of your your pandas is on the top of your matplotlib. Now can you see the diagram? Can anyone tell me what I am getting from the diagram? I'll make one histogram also for this, the same value. You have to tell me that what do you understand only from the visualization. Okay, let's create histogram, SIST function for that. Yeah. Okay, Kalpana explains block 71 and 72 to Khushi again. Okay. Wait, it will come to your screen. Yeah, now you can see that in 71, I want the column, it should be because I am having the height column. So I want the output, it should be like in the increasing order of the height. Okay, so for that we have a sort function. If you want the values, it should be in increasing order or decreasing order. So there is one sort for that, sort function. I have used just sort dot value function for that, and I have passed one parameter, that is my column name also, that I want to see only of height column, that I want to see it should be in the ascending order, and I have also said ascending it should be true because I want to see increasing order, so that's why I have said in ascending it should be equal to true. Now I also want to see only the top 10 values, that's why I have used head 10. Now is it clear, Kalpana, what we are doing? Ritu, wait, I'll explain box plot because I didn't explain because students were having problem in previous blocks also. Will not go further until previous blocks are not satisfied. Okay, Kalpana, good. Height is the column name. Height is the label name in which we have of the column. I'll show you. See in the database. See your database. It is showing. It is having a height. So height is our column name. We have supplied the column name in sort value that you have to take this column. Okay, Kushara Sharma, is it clear now? Okay. And yes, 72 block. Someone asked. Okay, I'll reply that one also. We have 71. We don't have 72. We have after that 73. So there is any doubt? Should I now should I explain box plot? Is it clear now, everyone? Okay. Great. So let's move to, because I have created two graphs for you. One is box plot. Now, what is box plot? This is a way for showing your diagram also, just one way of visualization. We also call this a whisker plot also. We also call box plot and the whisker plot. So here each line, as you can see here, the lines, this is at the 0, the black line, and the blue line, which is between 10 and the 15, and the green line and the black line, which is above that. So each line here represent a quartile, okay, and each represent that is a 25% of it. So what does it tell you? That this quartile is your 25%. This is your quartile 1 till from 0 to 2 first are blue line. Okay. So there are what it's saying, 25% of this quartile Q1, and the second from this blue line to the till green line we are having the quartile 2 over here. But we have to see how many values they are having from 0 to 10 to this line, and from this to this. So you can see from here what we are having the values large. Now if you see in your database, like I'll show you histogram also, we can analyze it that there are many values. As you can see, from 0 to 15 you are having less value. Okay, so that's why in here 0 to 15, that we are having the less values over here. But if you go from 15 to 25, and after that we are having the larger values. So that's why box is plotted over here, because we are having the large value in this area, that is from 15 to 25, as you can see in the histogram. And if you see in your database, in your Excel sheet, that is your CSV file, then you'll get that we have a less value in 0 to 15, and we have a higher value from 15 to 25. That's why our box is plotted over here, because we have a less value for 0 to 15, and this is a less quartile, and we have get the value for this. And above the black line, what does it mean? This is the close, that is the value after that is not accepting. We are just having the value till here. This is around 27 or 28. So you can get the idea from the box plot also. But this is just, I want to show you how you can use box plot, but you can easily understand from the histogram. As I have shown you, you can use same df2, that is your data frame, and on which column you want to apply dot hist, that is histogram function we are calling. So okay, what is the green line? Okay, green line tell you the median. Green line, Tavishi, it's telling you the median value you are having. That is the data distribution on which you are having. So green line is your median line. Okay, let's see in the histogram, because I've already explained you that you have a less value from 0 to 15, and from here you have the largest value. So histograms are much better than the plot, and also from the bar graph. Okay, now tell me what's the difference between the histogram and the bar graph, because yesterday what we did bar graph and the pie chart, and today we did histogram also. Now tell me what's the difference between histogram and the bar graph. And when we use histogram to visualize our data, and when we'll use that another one to visualize our data, that is bar graph. So tell me the difference between them, when to use when. Yes, tell me. You can type your answer in chat box. Yes, participants. I have asked what's the difference between histogram and the bar graph when you know that you have to use histogram and when you want to use that bar graph. Yes, no one is having an answer. No one knows that. Okay, then let it be your assignment question. Your tomorrow's assignment question first is difference between the histogram and your bar graph, and you want to search also that when to use which one. Okay, Tavishi, you are saying for easy comparison between value. No, it's not the right answer. Okay, no one is saying, then you'll have this question for your assignment. Okay, tell me, yesterday I have given you tasks that you have to perform two tasks. Have you done? I got just one mail from, just let me check. I got just one mail from Rajat and he has done that. What about others? Yes, Shreya, but you haven't shown me what you have done. Yes, Shreya Mehra, bar graph is used to compare values. That's good. And histogram is used for distribution of values. And if you have to give higher concentration and the lower concentration, that's why we have used histogram. That's good, Shreya Mehra. That's a very good answer. Okay, now let's do one interesting thing. You will see in your screen. Wait for a bit. There is having a delay. Yeah. Can you see that on your screen now? Interact with web API. Now what I want, okay, what is API? Tell me first, what is API? Okay, no one knows what is API. Yes, application programming interface. Yes. Okay, application programming interface. So let's do that. What we are doing now with the help of Pandas library, I want to interact with the web APIs also. I want to fetch the data from the web and will create data frame from that. Okay, so this is very interesting. So what you have to do, you have to install one package for that. And if you want to install this package in your Anaconda, what you can write pip3 is install request. This is the package name which I want to install. So this is the package name. Just hit enter, shift enter. Then it will, because I have already satisfied, I've already installed this. So that's why it is saying requirement already satisfied. Now I have to use this request package. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm just importing request over here. So I have import request. Now I have one URL and they have some data in JSON format. Okay, I'll copy that data. I'll show you the link first, that what's the data in the format. Yes. We are having this delay. It will show in your screen in just a bit. Can you see the output? It's in which format? Because we are having data, and every website data they are having on any website. Okay, on any website they are having data in this format. And what we call this format? Yes, Shivam, it has data in JSON format. That's very good. Now it has data in JSON format. Now what I want, JSON is JavaScript object notation, which is having the value in the key and value terms. So this is the key URL and this is the value, just like your dictionary. So this is having JSON. So I have these data stored in over here, this link. So I want to create data frame for that. So let's go to pandas. Even you can use any other link also. So this is the link we are having, and I have stored in the URL variable name. You will see it on your screen in just a bit. Yeah. Now I want to see whether URL is get fit or not. So I'll just type URL and we can see the output. We are having this link in the URL variable. Okay. Now I am creating another more variable because I want to fetch the request, because I want to request that website, that URL, that I want to fetch data from that. So how we can do that? You can use one variable RESP, which is equal to request dot get. So this is the function name. This is your package name request, and I'm using function get. There are two functions, get and put. You know na? Get and put. Get is for downloading and put is for uploading. Okay. So I am downloading the data. So that's why I have used get over here. And from which website or from which link you want to get the data. So we have typed, we have given the URL, that is my name, variable name in which my link is stored. Okay. So just check what is in the variable RESP in which we are fetching the request. And when you see the request, when I execute this, you are getting the response 200. Either you can also get the response 404. So these are the words, these are the which we use for this. So if you are getting 200, that means it is a success. So this is the keyword which they are used. So if you are getting the response 200, then it means it is a success. But if you are having 404, then it means they are having an error. Okay. So we are getting 200. That means it is correctly fine. They have stored it. They have get the data. They have download the data from this URL also. So I want to see what its type also. So I just print type of RESP, that variable. Now you can see this is of type response. Okay, because we have created one variable of response type, because it is getting data, it is stored data in of which is of response type. So what I want to do now, because I want to read JSON files, because we have JSON data. Now JSON data I have to convert it into data frame, and I don't want to include every column. I want to include some limited columns for that. So how we can do that? Just take another variable data over here. Okay, we have taken data which is equal to, we have taken RESP, that is we have response of this in which we have stored, and dot JSON, because we are getting JSON files over there. So JSON file is coming for that. Now we have stored in data. Now it becomes like list. Okay, the class, now I want to print data which is of type. Now it becomes of list type, the values they are having, it is in the list form. So here comes now our data frame also. Now I'll just import pandas as PD, because I want to see, I want to work with the pandas now. Here comes the pandas. So output, we have taken another variable. I'm now creating one data frame. pd.dataframe, and we are passing the value data because I am passing the JSON which we which we downloaded from that website, and I'm passing the columns, that is because I want specific columns. I don't want all columns, because if you see the data, there are so many columns, and if I do that, so my data, it should be like a bulky and I don't understand anything from that. So I want to see a particular data from that. So you have to select which column or which key you want. For example, ID or HTML URL, or only URL or state or label. So you can also specify which column you want. So I have taken over here columns equal to number. I am choosing first column as a number, then title, labels, and the state, because I want to see the value, the output of only these 4 columns, but you can use another columns also. JSON is a function for that, Ritu. JSON, because it's a function, because I have already seen our data is in the JSON format, right? From the link we are getting, so we have a JSON format and we are converting into data. So now we are converting into list, because we are not taking as directed. If you are taken something from the internet or from some website, what you are doing, you have to take as value and you have to change it into the class list. Okay, so that's why we have converting into a class, that the again we are having this of values, and we can use in that value also. So we are using, we are passing that data now, in which we are having, which is of the type R list. So we are getting the values from the list now. So that's why we have taken this. Okay, Kalpana, you are having error. Line 6, column 1, char 5, expecting value. I don't see. Uh, Send me what you have typed. Okay, then okay, let's just see its output also. When I printed the output variable, you can see over here we are having the values over here in number. We are fetching the data from the number key, and the title we are having this, and labels. If you see the labels over here, we have different values in the label, so it is fetching every value. But this is not a good data, because we have to sort it again, because in labels we have different multiple values. For ID, node ID, there is a different value. So I just, and in state there is open. So I just show you how you can do that. Yes, I'll show you the URL again, Shreya, Mishra. I'll just pass this again URL to chat box also. Yeah, I have sent you the data also, the link also. Now you can see over here what column, if you want to take, you have that. Do you know what is web scraping? Yes, participants, web scraping. Yes, but Shrey, what is web scraping? Yes, tell me what is web scraping? Yeah, getting data out of the website, digging out data from the website. So what we have done in pandas, did we extract data from the website? There is one very good library which we used for extracting data from any website. Have you used that library? Tell me the library name which is used for extracting data from website. Yes, it is Beautiful Soap. Yes, great. Have you done the implementation also? Have you tried? Have you tried to extract any data from any website? Okay, great, Shivam. Sizzle, from which website? What you have done? Okay, you were given intro about it, but you didn't do it to yourself. Okay, government websites. That's great. Okay, PU physics sites. That also great. Yeah. So you have done it yourself. Okay, that's great because that is a very good you can do with the help of this beautiful soap also. Okay. I didn't know that you are familiar with the beautiful soap because I have used the library beautiful soap over here. Okay, Shaz, you extracted faculty information. So this is having a beautiful soap. Wait, you will see in your screen. And yesterday task which you have done, send me in my email because I want to see whether you are learning or not. My email ID is this. I am sending you my email ID, shrutivadva99 @gmail.com. Because there are 100 participants, so I want a participant should mail what I have given them to. Okay. So we have used beautiful soap, so I'll not go deep into that why we are using this. Okay, let me show one more example of this. Yes, I have given you another task also. That what you have to do, you have to take dictionary, you have to create one dictionary with the city, year and the population, right? And you have taken this value and you have to create one data frame. How many of you done it? Yes, tell me how many of you have done it? Okay, Sejal, good, you have done it. Okay, Sudhanshu, okay, done. Okay, okay, done. And what about others? Okay, now on that data frame, you should try to take only two columns. Okay, just takes year and the population. Just try to do that, or just write the command over here. If I want data frame, shouldn't if I want my data frame should include only two columns. First is year and then population. Then there is a two way how we can do that. So tell me the two ways how we can do this. Yes, participants, tell me the two ways how we can do this. Okay, try on your database then, because we have discussed that how you can choose only specific columns if you want that. Okay, LOC, LOC, will it work? Come on, try it. Yes, other students, what about them? Tell me how can we select that? I just only want in my data frame 2 columns, year and the population. We have done that. You should know. Okay, then let me give you task for tomorrow first. First, you have to do select 3 columns, and the first column should be your year, then the city, then the population. Okay. So first you have to do that. You have to create data frame in which your column should be like year, city, and the population. Then in that data frame, what you have to do, you have to insert another column that is GDP with the name GDP. Okay, and you have to give row index value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in string form. So that is the second task. Then again, what you have to do, here, okay. Yeah, then you have to give the GDP column its value. First, you have to give 10 values to all GDP column, and then what you have to do, you have to give value with the help of function np.arrange. That is, you have to give the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then after that, what you have to do, you have to give the value. It's like 3, 2, 0, 9, minus zero point 4 and 7. The same in the GDP column. You have to give 3 value, and after that, if you don't give any value to them, and if you want to specify on a specific index, for example, if you want to give value only to index 2, 4 and 5, you just have to give value to them. You don't have to give value to any other index. Okay. Yes, Sudhanshu, good. You have done that. So this is your task. Have you understood what is your task? Yes, we can drop city. Yes, Shrey, good. Okay, have you understood tomorrow task? What you have to do? Okay, Vishakha, should I repeat it once? Okay. Carefully listen now. First part you have done that you have to create a dictionary, and you have to create data frame from that dictionary. You have done till now. Now what you have to do, the data frame which I want the column, it should be like first of year, then city, then population. Okay. And in the second, and I want the second thing, you have to add, you have to create one new column. You have to add one new column with the name GDP. Okay, you have to add one new column with the name GDP, and you have to give the index value to that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in, not in numeric form, in string form. Okay, so this is your second task. And then what you have to do, you have to give the GDP column values. You have to apply the values to the, for GDP column value. First you have to give all 10 values. You have to give them every row to a value 10 to GDP. Okay. Then you have to use arrange function through which you can supply 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 value to the GDP column. This is your, then again third, you have to give a float value like 3.2, 2.0, something like that. Okay. And again, you have to only specify index value, and you have to take only 3 index in which you want to give the in which you want to give the value. Don't fill every other index value. So the index value which we are providing, you have to take that, and other you will not. Okay. And other columns, it will show your NaN value. Now what does it mean by NaN? Okay, tell me what is NaN? Null? Oh no, it's not a number. NaN is not a number. ये number नहीं है. Yes, you can say it's a null value also, but we have said that it's not a value. Okay. Have you understood your task? What you have to do? Type yes or no. Okay, and yesterday task you have to mail it to me. Okay. Okay, that's great. Then we'll wind up the session. I'll take your question. We have a 5 minutes. Any question, any queries you want to ask? Yes, Shrey, we can also do that. Okay, good, Shiva. You have understood everything. Don't have any questions. Yes, everyone. Do you have any question?
Okay, students, the session is now open for questions. Kindly put your query in the chat box.
Okay, just write yes or no. If you have any questions, just write. If you don't have any questions, just write no. Okay, Dipanshu. Okay. I hope you have got understood the idea why we are using data frames and how it is used for data analysis also. Okay. What about others? Okay, what book do I prefer? There are e-books which are available online, and there are some links or there are some groups in Telegram. I'll share the link with you. They are very good. Telegram, they share with you your books also and the good contents for your project also. So I'll refer that to you.
And also try to do assignments given to you people and mail the same to the man.
I know hacking, Varnika. Well, that's not from the hacking, because I told you I have many projects. We are working on many projects. I can get the links from different websites and different GitHub also. So there is no big issue for that. I'll share my some groups with you, and they're very good. Okay, you want to fetch news from a website? Use web scraping. That's why I told you that you should use first that library, which I told you, Beautiful Soap. That is mainly used for fetching data. But in pandas, I have shown you that if you're in JSON format, then you can get that. But in website, you can get any data from the Beautiful Soap also. Do all website, we can do that. It's not like they have provided security. They have the security, but they are limited the data which they can't see whether someone is typing, because it depends how much you can go into depth of which data. If the data is not useful for them, for example, the website which I have shown to you, the data was not useful for them, so that's why they have done. And I have done web scraping of YouTube also for this JSON file. So YouTube allows that all you. So many websites allow web scraping because they don't show the data which is open for web scraping. You can access them. That's not having their security to them. So we'll see whether, because I have the websites which I have used, they all provide web scraping, but there are some websites which will not go into deep if you want to some secrets data from that. Okay, Manan, I hope you get your answer. Yes, anyone is having answer, so any question? Otherwise, we'll end the session.
Okay, anyone if have any query, kindly ask.
Varnika, you want to create your own API, but which API? Because there are different platforms. Because Twitter has a different API, YouTube has its different API. So it depends on which social media you want to create that API. Because I have created API for YouTube also and for Twitter also for fetching the data. So first you have to look which website you want to fetch, and you have to create that API for only for that website, because Twitter and API we are creating one account for that, and according to that we create API for that. Okay, you want to create API for fetching news also. Okay. So for that, what you have to do first, go with that library that is I told you, web scraping that beautiful soap. Okay, just try with that. You will get to know that which are the functions we have, because you have to go into deep into beautiful soap. You will get to know from that. But if social media, if you have social media like Twitter, then you need to create API for that. Otherwise, automatically it will generate you through your beautiful soap. And I'll share one link with you, Varnika, through which you can create API also. Okay? Just mail me. Yeah, you can just mail me, then I'll share the link with you.
Ma'am, even you can share the links in chat boxes too.
Okay, ma'am.
No, either today or tomorrow, whenever you feel comfortable.
Okay, okay, then I'll share tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. So anything left from the student side? If any question? So if
Okay, ma'am, then I'll leave.
yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Shruti, for this nice presentation for this data analysis. I think it will be very helpful for the student to make a very good project. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, ma'am. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Then we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.